So the capo di tutti I capi comes to trial at last, if only in the court of public opinion. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is another declaration of truth from your host, Terry A. Hurlbut. At last, as Elon Musk promised 3 months ago, the Fauci Pharma Files are out for wide release. A new journalist, Paul Thacker, released them yesterday morning. They tell the story of how one man leveraged his professional reputation to become the highest paid federal official in the land, drawing a salary even larger than the nominal salary of the president himself. They also tell of Twitter's role as a willing participant in the imposition of a fatal medical tyranny. I want to set the stage by offering a small sample of what I have learned about Anthony S. Fauci since my medical school days and recently. Then I'm going to get into the thread, the immediate reaction, and why Elon Musk might have reason to be extremely irate at that man. But First, I do want to shout out to the prime sponsor of this channel, which is Conservative News and Views. Link in the description. Be sure to check out the awesome CNAV Store. Scroll down near the bottom for that link. Lots of great merchandise there, especially this t-shirt that I have chosen for today, which quotes Klaus Schwab saying, "We have ways. We have ways," and they've had ways all right. One more thing. If you like what you're about to hear, you can like this video. You can also click the bell icon to get a notice every time I come out with a new one. In fact, you see the U icon? Heart shape with the US dollar sign. US dollar sign in it. That's a super thanks icon. If you really want to keep these videos coming, click that and leave me a tip. Any currency will do, so long as it's legal tender. And so, we start with the big question. La domanda de $1,024,000. Just Whiskey Tango Foxtrot is Anthony Fauci. Anthony S. Fauci, MD, was director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Disease for decades. He has the reputation for discovering azithromycin, or zidovudine, the current treatment of choice for acquired immune deficiency syndrome, or AIDS. But a former colleague, Judy Mikovits, accuses him of scientific plagiarism. But Dr. Mikovits has more than sour grapes. She accuses Fauci of suppressing all treatments for AIDS until his patent consigliere could secure the rights to AZT. And the kicker, he did the same in response to the virus that shall remain nameless. More broadly, he is chiefly or solely responsible for the regimen of closing schools, businesses, and places of public gathering. One student even drew a suspension for not wanting to play truant. But 6 months ago, he had the temerity to deny having suggested school closings. He also is mixed up with gain-of-function research, the very thing that made the virus that shall remain nameless what it is. But the narrative started to unravel a year ago, more than 6 months before Elon Musk bought Twitter. After Musk bought that social media giant, several journalists started releasing the Twitter files. 2 of them, one on the skew of the medical debate and the other on the virality project, described the campaign of lies designed more to frighten than to assist. No doubt Anthony S. Fauci preferred the title of Capo di tutti I capi di Stato Maggiore di tutti gli ospedali americani, but I'm going to give him 3 other titles. Bugiardo, Traditore, e Assassino. We now come to Paul Thacker, who dropped yesterday's thread. Paul D. Thacker described himself on Twitter as a journalist, former Senate investigator, and former fellow at the SAFRA Ethics Center at Harvard University. He also has a Substack page that he calls the Disinformation Chronicle. I have links in the description to his thread. He goes on for 15 tweets, so I'm going to share 8 of those links, which is all you need to have them all. And now I'm going to transcribe the text and maybe some of the images of text. Twitter Files, hashtag Fauci Pharma Files. Last December, Elon Musk sent out his viral tweet about Fauci, saying, quote, "My pronouns are prosecute Fauci," unquote, Elon Musk. Fauci went on Fox News and said he had, quote, "no clue to what Elon was talking about." Quoting him further, "A lot of people are spouting out a lot of things about me and Twitter," Fauci told Fox News. "I've never had a Twitter account. I don't intend on having a Twitter account. And I've had nothing to do with Twitter, so I don't know what they're talking about when they say that," unquote, Antonio Fauci. Fauci made similar claims during multiple exchanges in a 7-hour deposition where he denied using Twitter or even knowing how to access a tweet. But in an internal Twitter report in March 2021, the company revealed Dr. Anthony Fauci did an account takeover for, and here they named the official virus that shall remain nameless response account for the World Health Organization. This runs contrary to Fauci's public statements and sworn deposition given on November 23, 2022. According to this tweet, Fauci took over the White House virus that shall remain nameless response account again in April of 2021. Fauci was beloved by Twitter 1.0. Elon Musk tweeted last December that former employees had an internal Slack channel unironically called Fauci Fan Club. Psst, don't disagree with Fauci. Attorney Angela Scherer, who left when Musk sought to buy Twitter, praised Fauci as the leading trusted voice about the virus that shall remain nameless response in the United States. Angela Scherer was no small fry at Twitter, according to a deposition by FBI agent Elvis Chan, and where have we heard that name before? Scherer was one of the attorneys he interfaced with on disinformation at Twitter. Twitter didn't just rely on the voices of prominent physicians like Fauci. Oddly enough, they also worked with big pharma companies and pharmacy chains to shape marketing campaigns for these little jabs. In December 2020, Twitter announced they would begin removing and labeling tweets that contain misinformation about any kind of immunization, whether against the virus that shall remain nameless or against anything else. During that same time frame, Twitter began working with Johnson & Johnson on a Fauci-ouchie marketing strategy and with CVS Pharmacy to promote approved narratives. By the summer of 2021, Johnson & Johnson began a full-court press to market a ton of their products on Twitter, including a controversial antidepressant. Much thanks to Texas Lindsay, who helped collect and organize the Twitter files. We read and read until our eyes bled. More to come. Harvard's Martin Kulldorff, who is suing the federal government for colluding with social media companies on censorship, says, quote, "Twitter should be a place for people to exchange ideas without censorship," unquote, Martin Kulldorff. The last tweet has a link to a discussion to take place tomorrow, later today, on a Twitter space that talks about everything Twitter has on Fauci. Before I get to the reaction, I want to shout out to a sponsor who can really help you through the economic storms to come. That sponsor is OurSilverLines.com. Do you feel like you're working harder for your money just to get by? You are not alone. The fluctuating economy, the employment issues, unexpected changes in life have left many families struggling over the past few years. Collecting gold and silver can help shield you against many of these challenges. But if you're like me many years ago, you don't know where or how to start. Our Silver Lines helps by connecting you with thousands of members who are learning the secrets to creating and protecting true wealth by collecting precious metals. Whether you just want to collect rare and unique coins or take advantage of the business opportunities this company provides. Either way, they can help you learn to live an exceptional life. Visit oursilverlives.com to learn how you can build a legacy for your future. Now, as you just heard, Mr. Thacker has more to reveal than Fauci's sins. We see big drug companies, in this case Johnson & Johnson, using Twitter for free marketing of their products. Nor do these limit themselves to immunizations against the virus that shall remain nameless. By virtue of what law or moral precept a drug company may hijack a channel of emergency communication or the national emergency apparatus of state to use the same as its marketing arm, no one can possibly explain. Reaction was largely positive. I have links to 4 of the best tweets showing that reaction. One user shared an animated comic, 4 frames, showing Fauci wearing a white smock. And as he says, "I am science," softly at first, and then louder and louder, he shrinks until you can barely see him, but boy, can you hear him. Another user suggested how authorities might skew the narrative to excuse more emergencies in the years to come. He says there's nothing more to investigate since the virus ended its mutation cycle. Now he says it's laying eggs. Well, that's technically incorrect. Viruses don't lay eggs, but you get the idea. Still another shared a video called "Sad Little Man." I have both a tweet and a YouTube link. It's a priceless animation. Shows Fauci riding in on a buckboard like, you guessed it, a patent medicine salesman in the Wild West. Then we have a tweet that purports to quote from the Nuremberg Code. Now, in all fairness, that quote is incorrect. It quotes in Article 6, Section 3, there is no such thing. But tell you what, I have a link in the description to a PDF of a reproduction of the actual Nuremberg Code, all 10 precepts of it, on medical experiments. It covers medical experiments on human beings. It stresses the voluntary consent of any human subject. British Medical Journal, issue 7070, volume 313, page 1448, 7 December 1996. And now, my analysis. Elon Musk has been promising a Fauci Files release almost since he took over Twitter. Now understand, he did not buy Twitter primarily to settle this medical debate. He bought it to revisit his original dream. Going back to his PayPal days, Elon Musk wanted to create the Everything app that can handle a newsfeed, microcommunications, payment processing, and video. The technology did not exist when he created PayPal, so he sold it and went on to other things. But the technology exists today, and now he has the platform to make use of it. Nevertheless, after buying it, he found certain things in the records that made him very irate. One can guess what these things are from the statements he has lately made on certain political issues. For example, I have a link to his tweet saying, absolutely we should ban any kind of sexual reassignment treatment for minors. I have another tweet of his in which he said that any parent or doctor who sterilizes a child before said child is a consenting adult should go to prison for life. Now, why does this matter? Because it goes to the existential risk of population decline that worries him the most. He dropped a thread on that 15 months ago, and I have links to 3 of his tweets. He said we need to worry more about population decline, not population growth. In fact, he threw total shade on UN projections of population growth. He said you need to multiply last year's births by present life expectancy, and birth rates are going down, not up. He even quoted 2 articles supporting his position. One from NPR and the other from the Beeb. He also gave an interview. which a user calling himself Anomaly shared in an embedded video, and I have that too. Anomaly reminded everyone that Elon has been telling people for years that population is declining and that the media are flat out lying to the world's people about population growth being a problem. And back in June of 2021, he tweeted out an article from the Wall Street Journal. It said, quote, "Because the birth rate was already going down, the push from the pandemic could result in what amounts to a scar on population growth," unquote, the Wall Street Journal. Elon said something stronger. He called population collapse the greatest risk to the future of civilization, and he still feels that way. This is directly relevant to the virus that shall remain nameless, because Musk is quoting a Wall Street Journal article talking about how lockdowns might have stopped population growth completely. Actually, the journal did not consider immigration in their analysis. And then we add the allegations, never refuted, that the Fauci ouchie sterilizes the women who take it. Well, just imagine. If Elon Musk has concluded that Anthony Fauci sacrificed population growth and fertility to his personal or political gain, then one can imagine that Fauci made an implacable enemy, and the wrong enemy. Links in the description of the article, to the main thread, to 4 tweets, and a YouTube link in reaction to it, to that document reproducing the Nuremberg Code, to 7 tweets altogether showing Elon Musk's feelings about population decline, to my Declarations of Truth Twitter account, and to Conservative News and Views. I've also left links to the awesome CNAV Store and to oursilverlines.com, as I also mentioned. You know already about how to like a video, turn on notifications, and leave a tip. On the end screen, I'm going to leave a subscribe link to my channel and links to my Twitter Files playlist, the video that I did when Twitter rescinded the medical misinformation policy, and that sad little man video. This is Terry A. Hurlbut delivering another declaration of truth and reminding you to let the truth set you free.